My Weirdtastic School. Book number 1. Miss Banks Pulls Lots of Pranks. Written by Dan Gutman. Pictures by Jim Pelot. Chapter 7. Anti-Social Studies. We were all really mad that Miss Banks gave us toothpaste-filled Oreos. Nobody took another bite. Well, nobody except Ryan, of course. He'll eat anything. Miss Banks, said little Miss Perfect, what are we going to learn in social studies this year? Oh, we're going to learn about the 13 colonies and Lewis and Clark and geography and the Revolutionary War and the Bill of Rights and the 3 branches of government and blah, 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 blah. Zzz. Oh, sorry, I dozed off again. Bring! It was the lunch bell. That woke me up. Our lunch bell makes a sound like the word bring. Nobody knows why. Everybody started lining up to go to the vomitorium. AJ, said Miss Banks, before you go to lunch, may I speak with you for a moment? Ooh, everybody oohed. AJ's in trouble. When everybody had left the room, Miss Banks came over to my desk. I just wanted you to know, she told me, that I'm not picking on you. I like to pull pranks on all of my students. It's what I do. That's okay, I told her. I can handle it. Great, she said as she went over to the sink and filled 2 glasses with water. I bet you can't balance a glass of water on both hands at the same time. Hey, nobody tells me what I can or can't do. I bet I can, I told her. Here, Miss Banks said, put your hands on your desk, palms down. I put my hands on my desk. Miss Banks carefully put one of the glasses of water on my left hand. Then she put the other glass of water on my right hand. See, I said, I can balance both of them at the same time. I guess you're right, she said. Very good, AJ. I'll see you later. And then she walked out of the room. But I looked around. I was all by myself in the classroom. I had 2 glasses of water on my hands. If I moved either of my hands even a little bit, the glasses would fall off and water would spill all over my desk and stuff. There was nothing I could do. Miss Banks, I shouted. But she was gone. She had pranked me. Again. Help, I shouted. Somebody help. I was standing there with the glasses of water on my hands for like 1,100,000 hours. It looked like I was going to be there for the rest of my life. To make things worse, I suddenly realized that I had to go to the bathroom. I didn't know what to do. And you'll never believe who walked into the door at that moment. Nobody. Why would you walk into a door? You could break your nose. I thought we went over this in Chapter 5. But you'll never believe who walked into the doorway. It was Mrs. Stoker, our principal. AJ, she said, why aren't you at lunch with the rest of your class? Miss Banks pranked me, I said. She bet I couldn't balance these glasses of water on my hands. Then she left me like this, and now I have to go to the bathroom. I was trying not to cry. Calm down, AJ, Mrs. Stoker said as she picked up the glasses. You can go to the bathroom and then meet your class in the lunchroom. I walked 1,100,000 miles to the bathroom. After I did my business, I washed my hands and went over to the paper towel dispenser to dry them off. There was a sticker on the front of the paper towel dispenser that said, Voice activated. That was new. They must have installed voice-activated paper towel dispensers over the summer. Give me a paper towel, I said to the paper towel dispenser. No paper towel came out. I guess you have to say please. Please give me a paper towel, I said to the paper towel dispenser. No paper towel came out. I was getting a little mad. I want a paper towel, I said a little louder to the paper towel dispenser. No paper towel came out. Give me a paper towel, I shouted, now. No paper towel came out. I was really mad. I banged my fist on the paper towel dispenser over and over again. But no paper towel came out. I was sweating, and you'll never believe who walked into the door at that moment. Nobody. Are you kidding me? We went over this just a few paragraphs ago. People don't walk into doors. But you'll never believe who opened the door at that moment. It was Mr. Mackey, the elementary school reading specialist. Are you okay, AJ? He asked. Did I just hear you yelling at somebody? You're all alone in here. I'm trying to get a paper towel, I shouted. Mr. Mackey looked at the paper towel dispenser. Did you push the button? He asked. No, I replied. He pushed the button. A paper towel slid out. But I thought the paper towel dispenser isn't voice-activated, Mr. Mackey told me. Somebody must have put this label on it as a prank. Miss Banks, I shouted. It had to be Miss Banks. This means were. Chapter 8. This means were. Smoke was pouring out of my ears. Well, not really. But if smoke could pour out of somebody's ears, it definitely would have been pouring out of mine. I walked 1,100,000 miles to the vomitorium for lunch. It used to be called the cafetorium, but then some first grader threw up in there. I saw all my friends sitting at our usual table. Our lunch lady, Ms. Hall, was behind the counter. We have a special lunch today, she told me. You have the choice of frog legs, fish eyeballs, roasted grasshoppers, or Braunschweiger. What's Braunschweiger? I asked. It's a sausage that tastes like what a wet dog smells like, said Ms. Hall. Ugh, I thought I was gonna throw up. I'm not hungry, I said. Just kidding, said Ms. Hall. Do you want a hot dog, a grilled cheese sandwich, or chicken strips? Now the other grown-ups were pulling pranks on me. It was contagious. I took a hot dog and went over to the table where everybody was sitting. I told the gang what Miss Banks did to me with the glasses of water and the voice-activated paper towel dispenser. She's out to get me, I complained as I took a bite out of my hot dog. She's out to get all of us, Michael said. Miss Banks pulls lots of pranks, said Neil. She's like a prank machine. We've got to get back at her, I said, lowering my voice so they couldn't hear me at the other tables. Yeah, everybody agreed, even Andrea and Emily. We're not gonna take it, whispered Neil. If Miss Banks is going to prank us all the time, we should prank her right back. Yeah, whispered Ryan. We'll show her. Nobody pranks us and gets away with it, whispered Alexia. That's right, I whispered. So what can we do to get back at her? Asked Andrea. For once in her life, Andrea had a good question. None of us had ever pranked a teacher before. This was new territory. We could get some fake vomit and put it on her chair, Michael suggested. Nah, I said, that's the oldest trick in the book. Where would we get fake vomit anyway? Asked Ryan. From Rent Fake Vomit, I said. You can rent anything. We could put yellow sticky notes all over her car, suggested Neil. That would be funny. I don't know if Miss Banks has a car, I said. What if we TP'd her house? Suggested Michael. We don't know where she lives, said Ryan. We could put soy sauce in her coffee, suggested Alexia. That would be nasty. We could empty out her desk drawer and fill it with Cheerios, suggested Emily. We don't have any soy sauce or Cheerios, I reminded them. Then what are we gonna do? Asked Neil. I thought about it. Then I thought about it some more. I thought so hard that I thought my head was going to explode. I looked at the clock. Soon it would be time for dismissal. We had to come up with something fast. Emily got up to scrape her tray into the garbage can. As she did, one of her books fell off the table. That's when I came up with the most brilliant idea for a prank in the history of pranks. We put our heads together like a football team in a huddle, and I whispered my great idea to everybody. That's genius, said Ryan. You should get the Nobel Prize for that one, AJ. You probably want to know what my genius idea was. You're probably dying to know. Well, I'm not gonna tell you. Okay, I'll tell you. But you have to read the next chapter. So na boo boo on you. But I will tell you something right now. This was going to be the greatest prank in the history of pranks.